Let's have a look at a couple of examples of using the cosine rule. So first, this example on the left-hand side. I've got two side lengths and an angle, and I'm looking for the other side length. Now, I want you to notice this is the important step. The important step is to think, which side length is it that I am missing? And in this case, so I've got my formula, a squared equals b squared plus c squared, take 2bc cos a. And in this formula, the side length that I'm missing is the one opposite the angle. So the angle is, I'll use a different color for this, the angle is a. And so the side length opposite that is the lowercase a. And then these two side lengths are b and c. It doesn't really matter which one's b and which one's c. So let's now plug each of these things into my formula. A is x, so x squared equals 5 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 5 times 8 times cos of 45. Which equals, let's put that into the calculator to work out what it is, 5 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 5 times 8 times cos 45 gives you 32.43. That means that x, if x squared equals that, then x equals the square root of 32.43, which again we'll use our calculator, and it gives us 5.69 meters. Now, it's also always a good idea to just have a quick look back at your triangle and think, with the dimensions I've got here, does that make sense? And yes, it does seem to make sense. Now, in this example on the right, it's an angle that I'm missing. So if you think back to the last video, we want to use this formula over here, which is also on your data sheet. So I've got that cos a equals b squared plus c squared, take a squared over 2bc. And again, we've got to think, which is the side length that I'm going to put in this position of a? And it's the one that is opposite the angle that I'm looking for. So the a has to be the 6 centimeters. So we're going to get that cos a equals. So the first thing, instead of just putting all that into inverse, we're going to do this by solving this first and then taking the inverse cosine of it. So it equals 5 squared plus 9 squared minus 6 squared divided by 2 times 5 times 9, which equals 5 squared plus 9 squared minus 6 squared divided by 2 times 5 times 9 gives me 0.7778. It's 0.7 recurring, but I'll just cut it off at 4 decimal places. So then a must equal the inverse cos of that, which gives me 38.9 degrees. And again, think back to your triangle. Does that make sense? Yes, it does.